I just realized something as I'm listening to past tantrums and rants of Walls and Ellison and Omar and, you know, all of these diptwits. They're always screaming and hollering about ISIS is ripping Americans out of their cars and they're gunning Americans down. And I realized something. All ICE is there to remove illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants are not Americans. They are not citizens of this nation. They are citizens fully and wholly to their country of origin. What I'm sensing from these statements, killing Americans doing this, is that they don't give a rat's ass about the immigrants. They're not talking about their immigrants, their their communities or whatever. But 99.99.99% of these diptwits, mayors, governors, stupid senators and all that, it's always Americans. They're not there to protect the immigrants. That should be very telling to a lot of people that something is amiss. The slavers of the South did the same thing. They didn't. The black slaves were not Americans. They never regarded them as Americans. They regarded them as property. Yeah. They regarded them as property, and they never referred to them as Americans. And now we've got the Fab Four here in Minnesota and the diptwits at large screaming and hollering about Americans. Because, I put out a post last week about how I found it compelling that in January, there were 5 ICE-involved shootings, ICE and Border Patrol-involved shootings. The 2 that nobody can stop talking about like a dog with a bone is that stupid Alex Preddy and that stupid Renee Good. But nobody's talking about the 3 immigrants, the 2 Venezuelans and the Mexican guy that got shot by ICE and Border Patrol. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's rioting in the streets on their behalf. Telling you folks, this is the modern day slave trade, and they're trying to slither it in under our noses. Beware. If they cared, they would be running off at the mouth. And I get that they can't, they can't risk saying, well, we're trying to preserve our illegal community members, because that's kind of ridiculous too. But after the things that they say, nothing surprises me. It's going to come out of their mouths. But think about it. Go back and listen to some of these speeches and some of these temper tantrums that they're throwing and listen to what they're saying. Americans, legal, lawful people, they don't care about the illegals because they have an agenda for the illegals. I'm telling you, this is the third rant about this. They are trying to establish a modern day slave trade right under our noses. Mark my words, do good and be good.